What's going on, everybody? It's Carmine from Barmine Tech, and today we're going to be continuing on with the Beginner's Guide to Proxmox series. Today we're going to be working on building out a Linux virtual machine. So we're going to go through the process of how to get the ISO image on your Proxmox server, how to start to build the machine, and then how to get it all going so you can start working with it. Being that Ubuntu is going to be one of the most commonly used distros in home labbing, that's what we're going to use today. It's going to be a similar idea if you're going to use Debian, CentOS, MintOS, or any of the other Linux distros. So you can probably follow along pretty well. So let's get right into how to set up your first Linux virtual machine in Proxmox. So just to recap, we're over here in Big Lab. I have my Proxmox server up and running. We're connected in through the web portal. You can see I have my one node. I have my 3 disks over here. LVM main is the one that we made last week. Local is the one that's from the onboard storage, as well as local LVM. Local LVM can store VM disks and container disks. Local is going to be able to store container templates and ISO images, as well as backups. And LVM main is going to be able to store VM disks or container volumes. So now what we're going to do is work on getting our Auntu ISO onto our server so we can actually start making a virtual machine with it. So I'm over here at ubuntu.com. This is where I can download the latest Auntu ISO. So I'm just going to come over here to download. We're going to come over to server. So I'm actually going to be using the command line version of Ubuntu because that's what's going to run most optimal on the Proxmox server. We're going to get Ubuntu server. Now you could get a Ubuntu desktop that has the GUI. I'm just going to use the command line because it's what I'm going to use, and it's going to be a little more lightweight, so it's going to run better along with other virtual machines. So over here on the download page, you can either click over here and just download it to your computer, and then you could upload it through this process of going to upload and browsing your files. Or if you want to limit the in-between. So the easiest trick when it comes to downloading Ubuntu is going to be, we're over here on Ubuntu 24 LTS, so that's long-term support. I'm going to click the green download button. It's going to pop up that it's downloading, and I'm going to cancel it. And then over here, you're going to have to get download now link over here. So we can just right-click, copy link. We're going to come back to Proxmox, and in our local disk and ISO images again, we can click download from URL. I can paste it in here. We're going to query it, and now you can see it sees it, and we're going to download it. So this is just going to download the ISO straight from the site to our Ubuntu server. Depending on how big the ISO is, it might take a little bit longer. This one's not too big, so I'll give it a minute or so, and we should be right back. And when it's all done downloading, we'll see task OK down here at the bottom. This is going to be standard to any operation that's going in Proxmox. So now this is all done. We can close this out. Now you can see we have our server ISO image, and we're set to pretty much start building our first VM. So one thing you might want to do is just see what kind of system requirements the OS has. Ubuntu server is really lightweight, and that's why I like to use it. I only need 1 gig of memory, 5 gigs of hard drive space, and I really don't need a lot processor wise. So it works really well with any architecture, so it's going to work really well with virtualizing it. Over here it just needs a gig of RAM. Storage is pretty light, and we can give it 1 core or maybe a little bit more depending on what we want to do. So we're pretty free with hardware requirements. So we're back over here on our home lab, and now we're going to make our first VM for Linux. So over here in the top right corner is going to be create VM. We're going to click that, and now we can call it whatever we want. So I'm just going to call it Ubuntu. I'm going to click next. So now over here is where we're going to set up for the actual OS. So a lot of it's going to be auto-filled. So it's going to select our local drive, which is fine. That's where our ISOs is. I'm going to click Ubuntu. It's already on Linux, so that's fine. And then it has an option for the kernel. That's pretty much always going to be the default one as well. I'm going to click next. Over here is the system settings. For the most part, we're going to leave this default as well. Linux is pretty easy to work with when it comes to setting up the VM, so we don't really need to change anything over here. So I'm going to click next again. Now over here is where we're going to make the virtual disk for the VM. So I'm going to use my LVM main. You can see it also gives me the option to use the local LVM. It's going to tell you how much space is available and what the total capacity is. I'm going to use the LVM main because that's what I put that disk in for. And now over here I can change my hard drive space. So I'm just going to give it 40 gigs, so it's a nice round number. You can give it as much or as little as you want. We're going to click next. Now over here is going to be the CPU. I don't change sockets, I only change cores. So cores is how many vCPU cores you're going to give to the machine. So I'm just going to give this one 2. Like I said, Ubuntu is really lightweight, so it can run with 1, 2. You can give it 4 if you want, whatever it might be. Over here is going to be the types. You could virtualize different types of CPUs in Proxmox. If we scroll through here, we can virtualize all different kinds. You can see I can give it an Epic chip, Broadwell. I could give it all different versions of Intel chips, and we could do host. I'm going to leave it on the AES because that's probably going to be the easiest one to work with this Linux machine, and it's just the default option they give you, so I'm just going to use that. I'm going to click next again. Memory is the amount of RAM you're going to give the VM in megabytes, so we can give it 2048, which would be 2 gigs. I can give it 4096, which is going to be 4 gigs. I can give it 81922, I believe, is 8 gigs. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do 4 gigs, and we'll leave it at there. You can set it to whatever you want. Just remember, memory is in increments of 1024 or 512. 512 is half a gig. 1024 is a full gig. So just keep that in mind when you're trying to calculate how much memory you want to give a VM. I'm going to click next over here. This is going to be for the networking. I don't need anything specific on this networking, so I'm just going to leave this default. And now over here we can just confirm everything looks good. We can click finish. And now it's going to build that VM. So you can see over here in the left side, I have a new icon showing up. It says 100, and it's going to name it Ubuntu in a minute. And now over here you can see it says 100. It has Ubuntu in here because that's the VM name. And it's grayed out because it's not on. So if I click on it, I can click start. And now it's going to start spinning up and turning on that VM. I can right click over here and I can click console, and it's going to open it up to a console. I could also do it through here, and I can click console over here. The only downfall is that if you click out of here and you're working on something, it closes it out and you're going to lose your session. So I like to do it this way, where I right click, open up a console. Now it's going to ask us if we want to try or install Ubuntu server, or it's going to automatically select it. So I'm just going to click enter, and we're going to start the setup process. We're going to start going through the Ubuntu installer, so it's just going to ask for our language. Mine's going to be English. If I want to change my keyboard, I don't. I'm good with this, so I'm just going to click enter. Now we're going to be just using the arrow keys and the enter for this. And we can also use the space bar. So now this is going to ask if what we want for our installation. I'm good with a regular Ubuntu server. I don't need it minimalized. I'm just going to click done again. It's going to use DHCP to pull an IP address. I can assign it something if I want as well. We can change that. I'm good with this as it is. I'm just going to click done. I don't need a proxy address. I'm just going to leave this blank and click done. It's going to look for a mirror. I don't need this again. I'm going to look and click done. We're going to hit continue. Now over here it's going to ask how we want to set up our disk. So you can set up as an LVM group. I don't, because what happens is you need to expand it as you use more of your storage. So by deselecting it, we turn it off so it doesn't make an LVM group. You don't need to expand it, and it's just going to give you the full disk size. This is what I would recommend to do, is to uncheck this so it doesn't get set up as an LVM group. We're going to click done. We're going to make sure everything looks good, and if it does, we're going to click done again, and then we're going to hit continue. Now we're going to say our name. Our server name is going to be Ubuntu. We're going to pick a username, which is going to be, again, what we're going to use to log in. So if you want it to be root, admin, your name, whatever it might be, and then give it a memorable password, because that's what we're going to use to log in. After all that's done, you can click done. I don't need Ubuntu Pro, so I'm just going to skip this for now. So I'm going to click continue. I do want OpenSSH installed on it, so I could actually SSH to this box at a later time. So I'm just going to check that off with the spacebar, and then we're going to come down to done again. Other than that, I'm good. I don't need any of this extra stuff installed. So I'm just going to hit tab to jump down to the done button and hit enter. And now it's going to go through the installer. So I'm going to let this work. This could take a little while depending on your machine, depending on how much hardware you gave it. Hopefully it'll be done pretty quick, and we'll be right back. So after a little bit of running the installer, you'll see it'll stop kind of working, and it'll prompt you to reboot now. So I'm just going to click reboot now. And we're okay. It's going to go through the process and restart just to finish up the install. You see it might get the failed unmounted CD-ROM. That's fine. It's just something to do with the virtual machine. You could just click enter, and it'll actually skip through and start the reboot process. And now we should reboot right into Ubuntu, to that machine that we just set up. And you can see over here, I have my Ubuntu login. I could type in my username and my password, and I'm in my Ubuntu machine. I could ping out to Google. It works. So everything's looking pretty good. So I have a new Ubuntu machine that we can work with. On top of building out this VM, I'm going to show you how to make a VM template. So what this is going to do is we can make a base VM image for Ubuntu, And going forward, if I need additional Ubuntu virtual machines, I could just deploy it from the template instead of going through the whole process of setting up the machine, installing the OS, and doing everything else. It's going to make the process much quicker, especially when you're in a rush and you want to make a new virtual machine and you don't want to sit for 30 minutes making one. So to do that, I'm just going to come over here. I'm going to close this out. I'm going to shut it down, so I can just use the shutdown button in the top right corner. What that does is it pushes a command to Ubuntu and tells it to turn off. So you can see now it's turning off. Everything's grayed out. We're good. So now I can right click on this and you can see I can convert to template. So again, this is going to make a template of this virtual machine that we just made. So I'm just going to convert to template. It's going to confirm. I'm going to click yes. Now this isn't something you need to do every time you build a machine. This is just something lately I've liked to do because it's going to make it a lot quicker when I do come down to needing a machine built out. The operating system's already installed, the hardware's already set up, everything's working. All I need to do is just deploy it to a new VM, and then I can have a new machine to work with. One thing to keep in mind is that when I do turn a virtual machine into a template, it gets rid of that virtual machine. So if it's something that you're already working on and you have stuff set up and you need, don't put it to a template. You're going to want to make a new fresh virtual machine to do that with. But you can see now my virtual machine's gone and I have the template over here. So now let's say I do want a Ubuntu machine again. I can right click over here. I'm going to click clone, and this is how we're going to deploy it out to a new virtual machine. Now over here it's going to pop up and it's going to ask us for what we want to do to clone it. So I'm just going to name it again. I'll do Ubuntu new. And now the next option is going to be the mode. So we could do a linked clone or a full clone. And if we hit the help button, it's actually going to open up over here. So a full clone is going to be a copy of an independent VM. It's not going to share any storage resources with the original one, whereas a linked one will. So I'm going to do a full clone because I don't want to share it with the original machine. And I'm going to click clone. And now you can see over here, it's building out a new machine. And you see it's just taking a minute because it's still working on it over here. So it is locked. It's not going to let me do anything. So another way you can see what's going on with the status of different tasks is down here on the bottom. There's this taskbar where it's going to go over the current activities. So you can see here's the cloning activity. So I could actually double click on this and it's going to open up a log. So you can see right now what's holding us up is that it's trying to copy out the 40 gigs of hard drive space that I built out. This is kind of where it gets me because I made such a big hard drive. So I'm going to let this work out and then we'll be right back. All right, and after a few minutes, you'll see that it says task OK again and we're all set. So I'm going to close this out. And you can see I pretty much have a fully cloned machine from what we originally had. I can still change hardware if I need to. So if I need to change memory, I can increase it over here. I can add more hard drive space if I need. I can come over here, click the hard drive, and I could resize it if I need to. But other than that, I mean, we're pretty good. So I can just come over here and start it up. I could open up a console, and it should load right into Ubuntu the way we had it. And it's actually going to still use that same username and password I had because it just cloned the old one. And you can see we're all set to work again. So building out templates could be a really good way if you plan to build out a home lab to speed up that process of not needing to build out and install the operating system every single time. So I definitely do like working with templates. That's how we set up our first Linux machine and a template for it. So like I said, that's the process of setting up your first Linux machine on Proxmox, and also how to set up a template to work with it as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure to like the video and subscribe. I am going to be working on more videos for this Beginner's Guide to Proxmox series, so make sure you subscribe so you can see when they come out. I'll have links to all the gear in my home lab down below, as well as the link to the Discord server to join up if you want to join in there. As always, I want to thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next video, and as my buddy Dom would say, hack till it hurts.